Hello, queens and kings. My name is Thandeka Shabangu. Welcome to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. Today we'll be responding to a request by Utumi Khole. So this is what she wanted us to do. So the challenge was that she wants us to do it in 2 colors instead of having it in multicolors. So that's what we'll be doing today. So I've decided for us to do black and white. I feel like black and white is starting to come back. It's starting to be more trendy. So those are the 2 colors that I decided on. So let's get started. The tutorial hopefully is going to be in 3 parts. The aim is to not have more than 3 parts for the tutorial. So let's get started. So I have my needle and my upholstery thread. And at the end, I made 2 knots, one on top of each other, because my plan is to use a single thread whereby I do not join 2 threads together. So I'm going to pick up 1 black bead, that I'm going to use as a stopper bead. Then I insert my needle into the opposite direction, creating a loop around this 1 bead. This bead prevents the entire beads from leaking. So I have my 1 bead. I'm using glass beads, 2mm in size or 8 knot. They're the same size, but when you refer to them, there are different ways of referring to them. Potato, potata, the same thing. Okay, so now we're going to pick up. So now you're going to pick up 20 black beads. This is the number that we're going to use for our foundation. So this is where we're going to start. So when you've picked up your 20 beads, you're now going to pick up 4 beads because you're turning. Every time when you turn, you pick up 4 beads. So you're going to pick up 2 black beads, 1 white bead, and 1 black bead. Like this. 2 black beads, 1 white bead, and 1 black bead. In total, you have 4 beads. So at this point, you're going to count 4 beads from the end, and you're going to insert your needle into the 4th bead. Yes. So you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. On your 4th bead, that is where you're going to insert your needle. Like this. And then you pull. See? So you have this nice loop. Remember, for this, we're going to be using only 2 colors. That's the challenge that Dumi gave us, and we are ready. So you only pick up 4 beads when you're turning, but now that you've turned, you're going to go back to picking up 3 beads. Now you're going to pick up 1 black, 1 white, and 1 black bead. You do the same with your counting. You count 4 beads, and on your 4th bead, you insert your needle like this. Let me increase the lighting so that it shows properly. Yes, on your 4th bead, that is where you're going to insert your needle, and then you pull. At this stage, your loops might be pointing like this, might be pointing like that, but remember to correct them, whereby the white tops should be facing upwards. And then you're going to pick up 3 beads. You're going to pick up 1 black bead, 1 white bead, and 1 black bead. You do the same. You count 4 beads. You count 4 beads. You insert your needle into the 4th bead. So you're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4. And on your 4th bead, that is where you're going to insert your needle and you pull. Make sure the white dots are facing upwards, like this. And then you do the same thing that you have been doing. You pick up 3 beads, 1 black, 1 white, and 1 black. You count 4 beads. You insert your needle into the 4th bead, like this. Sorry, I'm going to move my thumb. Just needed a good grip. And then you pull. And then pick up 1 black, 1 white, and 1 black bead. Count 4 beads and you insert your needle into the 4th bead. Now the 4th bead will be the one that is next to the stopper bead. This one, the one next to the stopper bead. And then you pull. Like this. So I just flipped it. Now we're starting a new line. Every time when you start a new line, you pick up 4 beads. So in this case, you're going to pick up 4 black beads. You take your needle, you insert it into your central bead. Now, this made it much more easier because your central bead is that white bead, the only white bead currently. Yes, nice and clear. So that is where you're going to insert your needle and then you pull. Pull the bottom, pull the tail towards the direction that you're moving so that you strengthen it nicely. So, because now you have to create single lines, single white lines, what you're going to do, you're going to pick up 2 white beads and 1 black bead. Okay, I thought I should just do a recap in terms of to show you where we are going. So this is where we currently are. By creating white lines, these are the single lines that I meant. So when you pick up 2 white and 1 black bead, your lines will be facing in that direction. So currently we are here. We are trying to make these single lines. So you pick up 2 white beads and 1 black bead. You know, it's nice sometimes to see you go to, oh, okay, this is how far I've gone, and this is the goal, the end goal. Then again, you pick up 2 white beads and 1 black bead. It's good to reflect. You have to go back and reflect. I'm like, okay. This is how it's going. And to do the same, 2 white and 1 black bead. You do the same, you pick up 2 white beads and 1 black bead. Take your needle, you insert it into the central bead, which is that 1 white bead. Okay, then I flip it like this. Flip it nicely. So now we're at the corner. The rules of engagements of engagement are as follows. Every time when you get to the corner, you pick up 4 beads. So you're going to pick up 1 white bead, 1 black bead, and 2 white beads. 1 white bead, 1 black bead, and 2 white beads. You take your needle, you insert it into the central bead. This one. The central bead, and then you pull. In beading, black and white, the colors black and white, it's like it's the yin-yang of beading. So now you're going to pick up 1 black and 2 white. Remember that side we're picking up 2 white and 1 black. Now you're going to pick up 1 black and 2 white, because now you want to ensure that the lines are extending in the right direction. It's cool. So you're going to continue pick up 1 black and 2 white beads. You take your needle, you insert it into the central bead, and then you pull. Then you pick up 1 black and 2 white beads. Take your needle, insert it into the central bead. This one, that first white bead, then you pull. So now things are going to change, because we are trying to create this zigzag situation. So in order to do that, at this point, you're going to pick up 3 black beads, because you're not trying to, you have completed your lines, your white lines at this point. So now you want to also work on expanding this zigzag part. So you're going to pick up 3 black beads. You take your needle, you insert it into the central bead, like this, and then you pull. So now you're turning. What are the rules of engagement? Every time when you turn, honey, you pick up 4 beads in this pattern. So you're going to, here are your 4 black beads. You take your needle, you insert it into the central bead, and then you pull. And then you pick up 3 black beads. Remember, at the same time, we're also expanding our zigzag pattern. So you're going to pick up 3 black beads. Take your needle, insert it into the central bead. In this case, the central bead is the last white bead. Okay, so now we finished our zigzag for this line. You go back to your lines. To expand them, you pick up 2 white beads and 1 black bead. Insert your needle into the central bead. In this case, it is the last bead, and then you pull. Then you pick up 2 white beads and 1 black bead. Take your needle, set it into the central bead, and then you pull. Then you have 2 white bead and 1 black bead. Take your needle, insert it into that last bead, which is the central bead. The rules of engagement, they say, I quote, every time when you start a line, every time when you're turning, you pick up 4 beads. So, in relation to where you currently are within the pattern, you're going to pick up 1 white, 1 black, and 2 white beads. Take your needle, insert it into the central bead, like this, and then you pull. To make sure I pull nicely. Okay, so you're going to pick up 1 black and 2 white beads. Take your needle, insert it into the central bead. In this case, the central bead, it is the first white bead, unlike before whereby it was the last white bead. 1 black, 2 white. You do the things, you do the things. You make the pot to be done. So because we're expanding our zigzag, what should I call it? Zigzag. 3 black beads. Take your needle, insert it into the central bead. And then again, you're going to pick up 3 black beads and insert your needle into the central bead. You do the most. Okay, so now as we're moving with our zigzag, at the same time you want to also introduce the new lines that will be inside of the zigzag, that will be inside here. So how do you go about? We're at the point where we can start introducing. So how do you go about? You're going to pick up 2 black beads, 1 white, and 1 black bead. 2 black beads, 1 white, and 1 black bead. We are introducing the lines for the side. And in total, we have 4 beads. So you take your needle, you insert it into the central bead, like this, and then you pull. And then you go back to black. Remember, you are just introducing the line, so you won't continue with it at the moment. So you're going to pick up your 3 black beads, take your needle, you insert it into the central bead, and then you pull. And then again, you pick up 3 black beads, you take your needle, you insert it into the central bead, and then you pull. So we have expanded our zigzag, at the moment, you're going to move back to your lines and focus on them. Going to pick up 2 white beads and 1 black bead. Insert your needle into the central bead. In this case, it is the last white bead. Then you pick up 2 white beads and 1 black bead. Then you pull. So this is the last line that we're going to do for this part. At this moment, you remember the rules of engagement. You have to have 4 beads in total. So you're going to pick up 1 white bead, 1 black bead, and 2 white beads. In that order. 1 white, 1 black, and 2 white. So you're going to take your needle, insert it into the central bead like this, and then you pull. Then you pick up 1 black and 2 white beads. Oopsie, sorry. Set your needle into the central bead. In this case, it is the first white bead. Then you pick up 3 black beads. You take your needle, insert it into the central bead. You make the pots to be done with the central bead. You make those pots to be done. Insert into the central bead. So another thing that we have to take note is the direction of our lines. In this case, they're moving down. So the new lines that we have to create on this side, they have to be moving up like this. So they're moving in a different direction. So that means we're currently not in a position to be expanding the line. Instead, we'll have to introduce another line. So because if you pick up 1 black and 2 white, it's going to do like this. So you see the direction will be different. The lines are going to be moving down instead of them moving up like this. So instead, so if you can't expand a line, that means you introduce a line. Can't expand the line, yes, you introduce the line. RIP the lines. Hey. You pick up, so how do you introduce a line? You pick up 1 black, 1 white, and 1 black. Yo, the wind outside. Yo, it's so cold. What doing? Insert your needle into that central bead, which is in this case the only white bead. Okay, so this is where we're going to stop. In the next part, we're going to be doing 2 things. Thing number 1, you're going to continue introducing lines here. And thing number 2 is that we'll be reaching a turning point for our zigzag. This point. And then we'll be now taking our zigzag and pointing it in a different direction. So that's very excited. Please stay tuned. Don't miss out. It's going to be fun. Thank you so much for watching Queens and Kings. I love you guys so much. If you love the content that you're seeing, please consider subscribing. Remember to love yourself, to respect yourself, to honor yourself, and have fun. See you on the next video. Bye.